Jared, as always, we appreciate you joining us here on the program, and we opened the show talking about how we watch, the Monday night game and have a different feel because with you guys on top of the division, it's an opportunity to gain another, some ground on when Green Bay loses. You're 2 games up after 5 weeks. I mean, are you paying attention to that stuff right now, or is it too early?
Yeah, of course you're watching all that. Anything in your division you're watching and seeing where things fall. Now it doesn't really affect us much. We got to go win games every week, but you want to see how teams are doing. Sure.
Yeah, it's a ton of football to be played, but 5 weeks in, you have to love where your team stands, how you're playing, who you're doing it with, what's going on in the division. You have to be pretty pleased. Yeah,
it's been good. It's been a good little stretch for us, and the challenge now is how do we keep going on the right trajectory and making sure we're not happy at 4-1 and still hungry, and I don't think that'll be an issue with this crew, but just making sure it's instilled in us, and we got some tough games coming up.
I think Lions fans right now are kind of struggling with what exactly it is that feels different about this team and this year. Can you identify what's different about this team from years past?
Yeah, I think it's actually somewhat similar to last year's team. It's just we didn't get off to this hot start last year. We kind of stumbled out the gates, but those last 8 or 9, 10 games of last year and then into this year, it's been very similar. What it exactly is, I don't know if I can put my finger on for you, but it's a belief in each other, and it's a trust. It's a belief in the coaches. They believe in us. That's really the main part, I think. But we're playing good ball. We're doing a good job. I think the defense is causing a lot of havoc right now, and whenever they do that, it makes it easier on us on offense, and we've been able to finish the drives.
Speaking of that trust, there's some plays that you guys call where you might intentionally leave somebody unblocked, either hoping that they're going to, follow the fake along the line or not. And it always seems to be a play where the flow goes one way, you spin around, and maybe you're going to throw it in the other direction, and the guy's right there in your face. When those plays are called, do you pucker a little bit with those plays?
I don't quite know what you're referring to. The keeper where I got hit.
I think it's one where maybe it could be play action going to your left, and you'll spin around, and you're going to end up trying to throw it maybe to the right side, and there's like a corner is sitting right there and comes right up on you, and you've got to deliver it really quickly.
Oh yeah. No, I don't pucker with those. No, we usually are protected. Sometimes guys get through, but I can take a hit here or there. It's not a big deal.
So you guys, you find out no Amon-Ra, no Jahmyr Gibbs. Everybody then has to step it up. But if you look at the offense, who stepped it up the most where you're like, that guy really came to play when we needed it?
Yeah, I think, Josh has been that steady kind of step up in there. And Josh wasn't entirely healthy either. He was battling through some things and getting himself out there on the field, which was huge for us. I think, he wasn't at full strength, but his play the last, few weeks and really the whole year has given us a big boost. Obviously, Khalif, he's the easy one. He's always in there and just always does a great job. I thought Marvin played really well as well, both in the run and the pass. And then Sam, Sam has stepped up and done some great things as well. And getting him involved constantly has been great. But yeah, it's been a whole group effort. Jameson will continue to get more reps as we go, and I'm excited to see where his progression can go as well.
I'm not asking you to diss the running back room from last year at all. They were very good. Jamal Williams scored 17 touchdowns. That's crazy good. But how is this year's room different or even perhaps better than what you guys had last year with the running backs?
I think David is so dynamic both in the run and the pass, and is so good after contact. He can stand on his feet and make a messy run into 4 or 5 yards pretty consistently. We know what Gibbs can do, obviously, with his speed and his ability out of the backfield. So they're a great 1-2 punch and complement each other really well. And again, as we go on, I think David's kind of getting the lion's share right now. And as we go on, Gibbs will have his games where he'll have his big numbers and big yards and a bunch of touchdowns. And that's how good backfields are, is when they kind of trade off game by game, depending on the situation. It usually happens organically, but it'll be good to see when Gibbs gets back.
I want to ask you about a couple trick plays you guys ran. First of all, the snap between your legs. I've never seen that before. Did you guys steal that from somebody, or was that an original with a quarterback standing behind the center and the snap going through your legs to the running back?
Yeah, we stole it from a college team. I believe it was William and Mary. I think that was a school. It was wherever Colby Sorsdale went to school, which I believe was William and Mary. And we saw it from them. Our special, we call those our specials, is what we call them. Our trick plays, our specials, and our specials ideas guys found that one and thought it fit our game plan this week, and we put it in.
You mentioned after the game that when you guys practiced that somebody asked you, did it ever hit you in the leg when you guys were practicing? And you said, no, never in the leg. Did it ever get a little bit further north in practice?
It never hit me anywhere.
Okay.
It never hit me anywhere, which was good. But I had to get really close to Frank. There was no room for error. I was very intimate with him and on that play.
We'll leave it at that. Another special is the reverse flea flicker. What is the key to making that one work? Because my favorite part of that play is watching how long Laporta has to sell the run.
Yeah, that's a big part of it is his patience. But the quick toss from Montgomery to Khalif to me is pretty intricate, and it's not as easy as we made it look, or as the Niners made it look later in the night. But we practiced it quite a bit that week until we felt pretty good about it and felt like we could run it on game day.
What's your favorite play to call? The one that puts you in your happy place?
Ooh, man, it's a good question. There's a bunch. I like starting the game. We started the game off with 2 passes. I like doing that. I don't know if it's a specific play call that puts me in my happy place, but I think when Ben says they were going to start off with 2 play action passes off the get go, I'm like, sweet, let's go, and that makes me fired up.
Yeah, a 3-play drive in 45 seconds, whatever. It's not so bad.
That's right. That's fun. That's my happy place right there.
Tell us about your thoughts on Jameson Williams' performance, and as a veteran, what do you say to a young wide receiver after a drop?
Yeah, it's going to happen. I mean, it's not like he's the first guy in the history of football to have a drop. It's going to happen, and just come back the next play. It's not going to deter me from throwing him the ball. It never will. As long as he keeps getting himself open, can keep delivering him the ball, and he'll make those plays. I'm excited for his progression, and again, I've said this a couple of times, but he was off for the last 4 weeks. He wasn't around, so there's going to be a little bit of a warm up process for him, which is fine, and we know that. And he's doing a great job every day in the building. And I thought last week of practice was one of the best weeks of practices I've seen from him, and he just keeps getting better. It's exciting. It's really exciting. His full potential is really high, and the sky's the limit for him. But yeah, just keep working him in, and hopefully as time goes on, his workload gets more and more.
When you guys had a chance to look at the film, what did you on plays that he wasn't targeted? Did you notice that? Oh my God, he's open.
Yeah,
I just wasn't number one option, and boy, he blocked really
well.
well.
Sorry, I cut you off there, but to be honest, his blocking was really tremendous. I know that's not a stat that you see from receivers or anything, but he sprung some of those runs both early and late in the game, and he loves blocking. He's good at it. He does a good job on it, and that's a good sign from a receiver, is a guy that enjoys it and wants to see his running backs do his thing. And but yeah, no, I don't think there was anything I wish I would have got to him otherwise. Maybe next week we get him a little bit more involved.
You on your touchdown run, did you run over the Fox Steadicam guy in the end zone?
Yeah, he was. I went to toss the ball to a little boy in the crowd, and he was right on my back for some reason, and I turned towards the sideline, and he tripped down, fell down, and unfortunately, you never like to see that, but went over there and picked him up, and David, I guess, picked him up, and he got a little too close though. They gotta keep their distance, and hopefully those things don't happen again.
Ben Johnson gets a ton of love, and deservedly so, but I wanted you to talk a little bit about the relationship that you have with Mark Brunell, the quarterback coach, and how he's helped you out.
Yeah, Bru's been so good for me in my career and progression all the way back to when I first got here. And he's seen a lot. He's been through a lot. He knows the position. He knows the ins and outs of it. He knows the challenges of it. I think that's the main thing, is that there's so many times where I'll throw a ball a certain way, I'll move in the pocket a certain way, and maybe, a coach that hadn't played quarterback before doesn't quite know why I would do that. Why wouldn't you just stay there? He's like, well, I can see what you're seeing with the pass rush or where that defender is. And so I get it. So being able to have a coach who understands those intricacies of the position makes it a lot easier for me to explain different plays throughout a game or throughout a practice.
2 first-place teams will go at it this Sunday. And when you take on Tampa down at their place, does this have that big game feel to it, even though it's early in the season?
Yeah, it certainly does. Hopefully it'll have some implications for later on in the year. But yeah, they're a good team. They're 3-1 and have played well. But again, like us, they played well on offense, defense, and special teams. They seem to be a complete team, and we've got our hands full. They've got a great defense, and we're going into their place. They're going to be wearing the creamsicles, and we're going to have to do our best to take them down.
2 things. Do you like the creamsicle jerseys, and also the change in state and start time to 4:25 start? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I love it. It gets us on national TV a little bit more. But yeah, the creamsicles are great. I think they're sweet. I can't wait to see them. But yeah, I like the 4:25 start. Just means we get home a little bit later. But other than that, it's pretty cool.
Well, Jared, finally, I asked you who stepped up. You guys have put together the longest stretch. It was more than 20 points. The longest stretch in Lions history of scoring more than 20 points in consecutive games. I'm going to say it. I think you've stepped up. I think this has a lot to do with you, and I know you won't say it, but we appreciate it here in Detroit, and keep up the good work.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that.
All right, take care, Jared.
There he is, Detroit Lions quarterback Jared Goff.